就是回来给他，他要好好的，我给他洗洗头，他不让洗。我到元旦的时候我给他洗洗头。
这个时间还不用啊！哎，
这就现在是。
俺妈呀，我给他洗，时间不要了，哎。
我本花一朵，北归天山中，从此情人永相隔。究竟20年，我受尽了折磨，这个世界不要我。醒来吧，别再如此冷漠。醒来吧，抛掉所有懦弱，只为能紧紧握住自己人手，要埋葬那些恶的中国。那时间拔落，铁锁已斑驳，这就是我的一生。你若不醒来，还在梦里游走，又是地狱做出口。我本花一朵，北归天山中，从此情人永相隔。究竟20年，我受尽了折磨，这个世界不要我。醒来吧，别再如此冷漠。醒来吧，抛掉所有懦弱，只为能紧握住亲人手，要埋葬那些恶的中国。醒来吧，别再如此冷漠。醒来吧，为能紧握住亲人手，要埋葬那些恶的中国。牙齿全拔落，铁锁已斑驳，这就是我的一生。同胞快醒来，从此要站着火，我们砸碎这铁锁。
Sorry, I forgot to open myself mic. Sorry, I start again. All the audience around the world. This is KOCCP again with Lakeman, our guest. So in this episode 2, we will continue the CCP live series. So for this episode, we will talk about the girl in chain for 20 years. 20 years, amazing. How many 20 years one man can have in his whole life. So the girl, the woman spent 20 years in a chain and gave birth to eight children. So this is a very very hot social media event early this year, January 2022. But the investigation started last year, November 2021. So we will talk about this more about the detailed information and how under the regime of CCP, the Chinese people, the human, especially the woman trafficking, how bad it is. Basically, is after this show, you will see Chinese Communist Party is behind all this human trafficking, including children, women, young girls. So this is the evil party in China. So we will show some pictures. So basically, this is how the social media discovered this guy.
Yeah. Before you continue, may I say hi to our audience? But first of all, I would like to thank you for having me with this program today, and also I want to say hi to everyone to together with me today. So I really attracted by the topic that is posted here, because be honest, I didn't prepare something, but I really want to share my thoughts with you together. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry for that. I forgot to give you time to introduce. But anyway, this is already our second time for this English talk show. So you see this picture, right? This picture is the Dongji. There is a Dongji village in Jiangsu province of I think the middle east part of China. So
yeah,
there
we saw that especially during the January and February, that is a very, very hot topic in China at that time, right?
Yeah. Basically, nowadays in China, they are popular, how to say, it's like a live broadcast host, right? So the man in the picture actually is one of the live broadcast host. He is let's say showing that he has nurtured eight children in his family. He claimed that all these eight children are the son of him. So this is really surprising, and his living condition is really not so good. So a lot of donation, and he is trying to let's say collect the money or some clothes or food from the volunteers to raise his big family. So
actually, he just used this as cues to attract and collect benefit from public, right?
Yes.
Who compensate them, okay?
Yeah.
Because I have so many children at home, so maybe the entire city show their good wealth to him. So he just collect other money or any different type of benefits from society.
Anyway, we don't want to judge people, but from this picture, you will see the setup of his house is very simple, right? See the table, the walls, the bare walls, meaning with eight children in his house, he is not a rich person, right? So, but anyway, there's some, see this one, basically, this one, this in the picture in the right part of it, basically this is let's say like a reporter or the social media, also another broadcast, the host. Basically this guy bring some, let's say, food and clothes to the guy who claimed the father of the 8 children. He just so happened he discovered that near the main room, there is like a shabby, what do you call it, a shelter.
A shelter is
Yeah,
just beside that.
yeah,
Yeah.
beside the main room.
Okay, I have a
So
question for you. That guy just discovered this situation just by accident, right? Not
according to the video he published on the social media, it's like this. But we don't know if he already know the situation of this chained woman. But he just in the video he's showing he don't know the woman's situation. He just so happened to see her in that shelter. So basically, I don't want to play the whole video. If you are interested, you can search on the internet. So this is how the whole event is disclosed to the public. So in this picture, it's not showing very big. I can show you yeah, this one is bigger. You will see the girl basically the weather is very cold, but the woman is wearing simple
January
clothes.
and February
Yeah,
in that part of China's temperature pretty low,
yeah,
around about it's not only maybe temperature maybe 2 or 3 or around 10 degrees C, but
yeah,
it's humid, so still feel cold over there.
yeah, yeah. So you see in the left part, this is a separated picture of the poor woman. You see on the neck, around the neck, there is a chain, right? The chain is with a lock. And so this is
Where is
really
that?
surprising. Yes.
Oh
So,
yeah, I saw that on
yeah,
the left part of that. Okay.
yeah. So this is astonishing. But in the part of the video, the interview, let's say the social media host, basically is just a little surprise. He's showing to the camera. See, this woman is chained. And this is such a cold weather. She is wearing so simple. Let me find some clothes, thick clothes for her to keep her warm. And he is checking. Okay, see that there is nearby. There's a boat. Right there in a bowl. Sorry, a bowl. A bowl in a bowl. He cannot see what the food, what kind of food is in that bowl. In in the bowl, it seems like some kind of congee. It's also cold. See the woman is holding some chopsticks on her hand, and this is really situation. Surprisingly, this guy is not let's say trying to call a police, right? If let's say see Lakeman, if you experience such a situation, what's your first response as a
Definitely for me,
Westerner?
in my response, the first response should be dial 911 immediately.
Yes,
support it, because I'm not able to handle that situation by myself, but we need to get support from the public, from the policeman, from society.
Yeah. So here if the audience, if you are living in a Western country in a democratic freedom, we enjoy the freedom of democracy, so you will be shocked for such a situation, right? How can a human being chained like an animal, like a dog, right? No matter what's the living condition, but it's unconsiderable, right? How can people treat human like
Nobody
this?
can imagine what's happened. Nobody can imagine what's happened like this.
Yes,
it's treated like as you said, it's treated a human like an animal, not a human at all.
Yeah. So seemingly, later we will explain why this guy is not surprised. He's just trying to get more followers for his live broadcast. So he's trying to give some.
You mean that guy is just a host?
Yes.
He's not a real person. So
yeah, I think it's also a host. He is either live broadcasting or doing some video that later he can post on his blog or something. But he also seems bring some food and food and clothes for the poor families. So this family is just one of the family he is visiting. So since he donated some clothes, some food, he's trying to record what the situation of the
what has it
family.
do and attract more people, pay a lot of attention about his channel.
Yeah,
right? You're gonna attract more fans.
Yes, maybe also maybe he can let's get more supporter, let's say to donate for the poor family. But anyway, either way, this is just so happen. So you see, to me, this is really surprising. Then after that, after this video, after the event happened, then I'm not sure it's a live broadcast or later this guy posted the video on the social media. So the Chinese people, this hit on the top one social media news or video really immediately. Then the Chinese people are also shocked. How can a woman is chained and like this? Right? So immediately it's so hard that the police have to step in. Remember, I said.
Yeah, I just before you can, I just give you a number here because when we're talking about it, I'm searching online. Said the China woman's topic kept 5 billion views per day in China at that time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So but now, if you see now, who still remember? This is just I think nearly half a year ago, right? So just like our last episode, we also saw the same situation, right? The Tangshan mafia
Correct.
beat 4 girls to death, right?
Yeah, that's you just talked together last week, right?
Yes.
About it. That actually the similar situation, but different situation, but very similar background.
Yeah, yeah. So this is another kind of, let's say, inhumanity situation in China, meaning the Chinese people are really enslaved by the CCP. Consider this situation. I gave you some background. After this, as I mentioned, the social media got so hot, so many hits in such a short time, right? So the Chinese Communist Party
Correct.
also afraid of such an event that the public may have get so angry, right? They will add pressure.
Yeah, which means that if without this kind of views be released to public, the government may never be step in to interrupt with this case, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the police or the Chinese Communist Party, the local government have to, I remember I use the word have to step in. They have to step in. I don't believe they don't know such a situation.
If they do not, probably that can hurt their image.
Yes, yeah. So then so many people are reading this news, right? So let's say the Chinese people
5 billion per day.
Yeah.
5 billion per day.
Yeah.
Wow.
So many, let's say the social media readers, basically they are the server of the internet, right? So they try to, first question they ask is, who is this poor girl, right? This is the first question asked.
That's not only that's kind of broad that it's spread to all over the world, not only in China. To be honest, we see it right now. So I'm just open the website. It's called the Financial Times.
Financial Times.
What time? Yeah, Financial Times is on February. On that time.
Yeah. So basically, to answer this question, who is this girl? Consider the high technologies the CCP own, right? The surveillance, the face recognition, and they can identify any, let's say, for the lockdown of Shanghai, right? If any person step out of their building or their condo unit, they immediately will let's say make their health code from green to red, right? Meaning everything is under the strict control of a Chinese Communist Party. How can the government do not know who the girl is, right? It's impossible. So the following two I will show you. If you see, this is by the let's say the social media, the volunteers, they try to search the lost people. in the last, let's say, 20 years. So they eventually they find out this is the nearest, let's say, if from the face comparing, you will see this is definitely this is a girl, but we cannot make 100% sure, right? But if from first sight of checking, you will see these two faces are very similar, right? From your eyeball checking, right? So they make, I believe, this kind of lines drawing between the eyebrow, between the nose, the mouth. This is very professional. This is for recognizing or identify two same
That's two
image.
pictures about 20 years before and after, right? And they still can identify their face from the eyeball, from all the features.
Yes, yes. So the girl in the middle actually is the when the girl get lost, it's called Li Ying. So later we will talk more about this. But anyway, this is what the surfers, the internet surfers, volunteers, they get identified. They believe they identify the real identity of this chained woman. Then this one, actually, you see, remember the first question asked, who is this girl, right? Who is this woman? So this is the answer given by the local government, right? Why? This actually, the picture in the background basically is coming from, in China, they have a marriage certificate. Meaning when the two people, they get married, they will get registered under the part of the government. So the government on the top left, you will see this is the marriage certificate with a rubber stamp there, right? So supposedly,
I have a question for you, Cal. What is the pictures in the middle? Who is that? Is the same or different?
No, this is ridiculous. Let me show you more detail. This one actually, first, this marriage certificate is holding by the husband, the claimed husband, meaning the father who claimed is the father of the 8 children, right? So, so this actually is the guy the father showed to the reporter. I have a certificate for marriage, meaning this woman in the shelter.
Which means he shows public he's legally married with this woman.
Yes, yes. But later on, the local government is trying to track down who released this marriage certificate to the public. Even this one, the government still want to strictly control. Even this supposed to be the hard evidence, right, showing the relationship between the woman and the guy, right? So now the problem is, you see in this marriage certificate, there also a picture, right? The picture in the middle. In the picture in the right, actually is the girl, the actual girl. Yeah. And in the middle, actually, this is the picture on the marriage certificate. But you definitely, from first glance, you will not believe these two pictures are the same woman, right? You don't.
No,
anyway,
totally different. Look at the face. Look at the mouth. Look at the nose. No, even I couldn't figure out. It was one place that looks similar.
Yeah,
totally different from two
not
people.
A little bit similar, but this picture in the middle, basically on the marriage certificate, the government is saying, okay, I find this is the name is Xiaohua Mei. Xiaohua Mei is in the middle picture. She is also a lost girl, reported, I think, 15 or 16 years ago. So the government also sent some police, that's a government officer, to the hometown of this Xiaohua Mei, the girl in the middle, to check if the woman in the right, showing in the picture in the right, is the same person. They go to their hometown. So this is a series of lies, because before the government official visit the Xiaohua Mei's hometown, the girl in the middle, some independent media reporter or independent investigator, they also went to the hometown of Xiaohua Mei. They showed the picture of the chained woman and asked their relatives in the village if you seeing this girl is the same girl lost 15 or 16 years ago, but they also make a video. The relative or the people in the village, they said, no, it's not. But the government official in their official report of the Chinese Communist Party, they published, released on the social media. They said after an investigation, the village, the hometown people of Xiaohuamei identified and confirmed this is the woman in chain.
That's a joke. That's a really huge joke. Those governments just want to find a reason to release to the public and then
they
make
just want to cover up the truth. Basically, simple, right? Because later on, the story is so interesting. You know, the Chinese Communist Party, it's they're always they're doing it such a way. They cover up their lies with another lie. Then if the lie was was disclosed, it's not true, then they will cover up with another one. If they cannot cover up, eventually they will surprise all the media, the social media, let all the people disappear or arrested all the people who would like to threaten their information or their what they release. If you don't believe it, you will be punished, you will be arrested. This is how the Chinese Communist Party is running their regime and running their so-called government.
They use a chain of lies.
Yes, chain of lies. Correct. Simple. In this way, I show you another side story. Basically simple, right? With let's say at the current stage of time or age, right? You have the DNA checking, right? So a simple way is to check the DNA. So they also did the same thing. They check the DNA, but the DNA what they are gathering is from meaning how you get the DNA of the Xiaohuamei in the middle, because this girl is already lost in so many years, right? You can never get the original DNA of Xiaohuamei, right? So they get to one of the relative in I forgot in another province, very far away from when this event was happened. The event would happen in Jiangsu, right? So they
maybe it's Yunnan somewhere. Maybe it's the Yunnan province somewhere. Maybe
I forgot.
Really?
The hometown is Yunnan, but they find a relative, the sister, actually a cousin or a sister of Xiaohuamei. Then that cousin or sister, that so happened keep a code of their mother, Xiaohuamei's mother. So they said on the code they find some like a hair or something. So
found the gene identity for
so
that
the DNA
person.
they were able to retrieve the DNA of Xiaohuamei's mother. So they used that DNA to compare with the chained woman. Then they said this is identical. So, you know, I'm not a professional for this, but there are a lot of internet surfers. They are professional. They said that code, because the mother, remember, this is already 15 or 16 years
ago. Like 15 or 20 years ago, right?
So the mother already died. The mother of Xiaohuamei died. So someone, no matter is the daughter or one of the next generation, just so happen keep the code of the mother. Then it just so happened the code on the code, there is a hair that keep the DNA. Also, how you identify this hair is keeping the same DNA of the mother. You never know, right? After 20 years,
it just reminded me, Cal, that is another chain in that line.
Yes.
Another line on that chain.
Yes, because for example, you already identify, okay, Xiaohuamei living the hometown in Yunnan, right? Is in the Yunnan village, this is one of the minority, what do you call it? The minority people.
Minority controlled, right?
Yeah. So simple. You find a relative of Xiaohuamei, right? Who is still living, get a sample of the DNA, then to compare, right? Why you make go such a long way to find a code of the mother who already died, right? To get the DNA. But first we will challenge, is the DNA the correct DNA? You never know, right? And the DNA compare take, I think, more than, I don't know, that's also the question raised by the social media, because you take why they take you so long time, and even on the DNA report, it's also suspicious. So meaning this, from here you will see this a chain of lies. So anyway, the internet servers, the social media people, they are joking with these two images. They are saying, no, they are drawing a equal symbol between the two image, the two picture, right? So this is what the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, is telling the public. Okay, these two people are the same people. I already confirmed. We, the Chinese Communist Party, already checked the DNA, and they are exactly the same people, right? But the public don't.
I think even the government, they wanted to use this kind of a joke to fool the public, but I believe all the people really know what is the real story behind it.
Yes, correct.
Just they don't want to say, or not afraid of saying the truth.
Yeah. So, in the right part, basically this is also I searched on the internet. You can get an image like that, meaning maybe our audience cannot read the Chinese, but in the right side, it's just like a sign along the road, right? Considering like you are driving along some state road, right, around your area, so you will see a sign nearby the road, right? The sign commonly is some advertising, right? Some advertising maybe for massage, for buying food, quick food or something, right? Or let's say selling furniture, something like that. So in this right sign, they are saying on the top is massage. The other one I think is like a therapy. A therapy, it's just a health therapy. On the last, on the bottom, I circled it in the blue, is, what it's saying is, I'm buying small children,
buying kids,
little child, buying. This is trafficking, human trafficking, advertising in the public. Do you believe that?
They just posted it on the roadside of a village.
Yes. Meaning what I'm saying is,
wow.
This chain girl
is far beyond the issues of human trafficking.
Yes,
you far beyond that.
Yeah, how you can, Westerners, you will understand such a thing happen, ever happen in any corner of the world, but it's happening in mainland China under the government of Chinese Communist Party. This is the reality.
Just, it reminds me what's happened about like a couple hundred years ago, 1,000 years ago, a kind of a slaves.
Yeah, slave from Africa, right? They sell the slave to the United States, to Africa, and to America, right? That's right. 200 years ago. But after the civilization, nowadays, in the let's say under the control of the Chinese Communist Party, it's still happening daily. So what I'm telling you is, from this sign, you will see the human trafficking or the chain girl is only still, I use the same word, the tip of the iceberg. There is a huge market of the human trafficking in China under the control of Chinese Communist Party. And they are part of the human trafficking. That's why this is happening in the daylight.
Yeah, I sincerely believe that's truth. Yeah. If the government not getting involved, or they really want to control it, they can do whatever they want. Yeah, let's go back to this. Another shocking information or shocking fact is, if you compare the two phases, young phase and old phase, right? You know how many years in between? 20 years. About 20, right? Yes, yeah. 20 years. Meaning when the young girl was reported lost, that is already 20 years ago. So you can imagine this young girl at the age of just graduate from high school. It's just under college time, right? So that girl was kidnapped and into the remote area of Jiangsu province, and was
let's say, enslaved there as a sexual slave, and gave
Sexual abuse.
birth, abused and gave birth to eight children. Gave birth to 8 children. Consider 20 years, 8 children. How you can imagine that?
Yeah, I remember one word that said about that lady is that when the people interviewed her, he said the entire family is a rapper.
Yes, definitely. That's just imagine here. The astonishing number is 20 years. Consider 20 years of a young girl spent in a remote village. But why this is only go to the public or disclosed to the social media after 20 years? What happened? Consider this is a human, right? Human is not a dog. But you train a human and let's say detain the
Your question is really interesting. Why about 20 years later this just renews at that time?
Yeah, how can this happen in the last 20 years without anyone investigating, or even it's not known to the public? Let's say the government is near the village, right? Everything is under control of the government in China. But this kind of thing happened in the last 20 years on the body of this young girl, but no one is helping, and the girl cannot escape. It's just like a slave, right? Slavery. But do you think this is only one girl enslaved in that village? Consider.
Probably just one girl just news released about that. Probably thousands or thousands of them around.
Yeah, later I will give you some numbers for, let's say, human trafficking. It's really astonishing, but that's why I'm saying, based on the data, I can say this is only tip of the iceberg. But still, you need to consider a situation in that village, in some remote village, similar village, such kind of thing happened. But why young girls was kidnapped there and raped and gave birth to 8 children, but still she cannot escape, and no government step in to help, right? Even after the volunteer, the live broadcast host, they try to donate to the poor family. They find the girl, but still they not call police, right? Consider the two facts. Why the social media and the interview, who make the video, they not call the police at the first place, right?
That's a good question.
Yes, meaning this is one logic conclusion is this is the common situation in that village or near that area, right? Not only one family, maybe the whole village. Basically, later there are rumors, or let's say whistleblower is saying that the Dongji village, Dongji is the village name. Dongji village is a remote village. Yes, so the people there, they are too poor. They don't have money, right? So no one consider who will marry with the man there, right? So meaning this village, if they cannot get woman, let's say get married, the guy, the man cannot get married, so their village will disappear, right? After several generations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
probably.
meaning this logically they have to find a way to get girl, to get woman, to give birth to their children, right? To make their
want
next
to continue
generation
their family.
Yes, to make them survive, let's say from generation to next generation, right? So they have to find a way. So the easy way is to kidnap some girls, right, from outside of their village, right, to enslave them in their.
One sense just attract my attention. Here this man, he had 8 children, all 8 boys, right?
Yes.
If there's no more girls in that village, how about next generation about that family? They gotta, kidnapped 8 girls with their next generation?
Yes, this is a good question. Also that's an interesting rumor, but I think it's really logic, because first remember I asked a question why the girl cannot escape, because there is a network around the village, right? meaning all the villages, they are the, let's say, they are criminals, criminal
working, network. They all, help. We can quote as help each other. Actually, they control all those kind of.
Yes. If you want to escape,
people.
I hear there are a lot of stories on the internet. Some kidnapped girls in other village, similar situation. When they want to try to escape, yes, they can run, let's say, several hundred meters away, but there are watchers all around the main road, meaning they are looking surveillance by their eyes if any kidnapped girls are trying to escape. So once they identify, they will raise alarm by, let's say, hitting some, let's say, making some noise. So all the strong men will come out to get the girl, to get her back. And then after they identify who the girl who is trying to escape, they will beat the girl up, right? Beat her. So beat her to make her not escape next time, to make sure this will not happen. So if this repeating happen again and again, consider if you are the girl, you have to lose hope, right? You will let's say give up the idea of trying to escape. So this is the situation. And consider the police station near around. There must be police station. What the police are doing, they must also part of the protecting network, criminal network, right? They maybe take some bribe, or they are also part of the reapers, right? I don't buy it. The eight boys are all the same father. I don't buy it. Basically, there are rumors that this girl in the middle, why she gave birth to eight boys, is because she is famous for giving birth to boys. In a remote area, in a rural area of China, right? They have the sexual, how to say is they prefer boys than girls, right? So this is always because of the one child policy of Chinese Communist Party, right? So because they in the rural area, they are thinking the boys grow up with a man, right, who can take the labor work, who can help the family. This is the situation. So after the first boy was given birth, I think this girl, the chained girl, is get famous for giving birth to a boy. So more and more, that's a different level of officers in their town come to rape this girl again. Then even the father is saying, no matter who, I don't know, who have sex or sleep with this chained girl, once the children was born, they have to call me as his father. This is exactly what the word coming out of the mouth of the father. So can you imagine that? You see that guy, he don't care who is the father, who is the biometric father of the boy, but he just raised the boy. He published on the social media the videos to get people donate money or food or clothes to him, so he can make himself famous to raise the family, right? So this is how they are living, and they don't care. Let's say 20 years ago, they kidnapped the girl, raped her, forced her to give birth to 8 boys. They don't care. But this is the real story, as tip of the iceberg. This is the real life of the Chinese woman who is under the threatening of human trafficking. This is the real situation. This, I don't know how, but Miles will really make a song out of this story. And if you see Miles Guo's live broadcasting, basically the opinion is, if you know the real situation, you don't buy the lies make up by the Chinese Communist Party. You know this is the fact. This is really happening every day in mainland China.
So, almost in every corner of it. When you're talking about the Jiangsu province, or actually compared with others, it's a relatively rich province, not poor at all, right?
Yeah.
But thinking about other provinces like your rural areas like Yunnan or uh,
Yeah.
Guizhou, those
Yeah.
places maybe even heavier things happened like this.
Yeah. Because meaning this is also another reason behind this kind of situation. Why there's so many human trafficking? It's because there are so many poor people. There are poor people and rich people in China. So the rich people concentrated in big cities, but in the remote area, they are there's so many people in poverty. So they don't have money. Their living condition very poor, right? So they have to seek opportunities in big city, right? But this one,
They want to find a job to make a living.
yeah,
That's why they go anywhere. But
yes.
for those young girls, because they're so young,
So they
not
will
able to.
be easily being the target for the human trafficking, right? So there is a
Right.
famous the let's say the social media, the internet servers, they gave a joke that every girl or every woman in China, what's your distance between you and this chained girl? It's just one hit away. One hit meaning if someone is trying to look some woman or girl for human trafficking, right? Definitely that criminal will hit you with a stick behind, right? So this is the joke. It's just a distance of a hit. Just one hit,
Everyone could be
you will
that.
be the victim. You will be the next victim. You will facing the similar situation like the chained girl. But this is not a joke. It's very heartbreaking
It's a fact. It's
reality.
hack.
Yeah,
Fact.
meaning if this will happen to this girl, it can be happen to any beautiful girl who, let's say, attract the eye of a human trafficker, right? They will identify beautiful girl, young girls, right? They will use all their way, their professional tricks to lure the girl to some car or train, then give her
Yeah.
some medicine, take her down,
Okay,
right?
we are talking about this. That's reminding me is a lot of different stories happening in there as well. I just saw many young kids or young children when they play, outside. Even the children's around. Sorry, even the parents around them. There are people that drive motorcycle or just run. Grab and run.
Yes, yes,
That's
correct.
happened. Yeah.
Similar. Now, let's say now basically the storytelling part is nearly done. So the next part basically is what happened after this is published. And even the news was published, right? What happened to the chained girl? So now in this picture you will see basically police eventually have to step in, right? They try to arrest the guy and the father of the 8 boy as he claimed to be. And but the punish is very, let's say, minors published, meaning later we will talk about that. But let's focus on what happened to the chained girl, meaning the girl was taken into a hospital. The girl, imagine that's 20 years, what have the girl experienced, right? Definitely the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful girl will fight back. So how she fight? Definitely she bite, she hate, right? But one of the fact is all the tooth was, let's say, take away by force. Only two,
Yeah.
I think only two teeth left in her mouth. Let's say if you see the video, her voice is not so clear because there are no teeth. That's why there are the food for this chained woman is only some like food of in kanji, right? You will see in the social media. So and also they are saying the tip of the tongue of the girl also was cut. So that's why the voice or the speaking is not so clear. Can you imagine that? What treated to what action have been taken for the girl, let's say 20 years ago, to make her in such a situation, right? So after 20 years of enslaved, let's say common people will think this girl is insane, right, and or have some mental disorder. This is why they adopt her into a mental health hospital. So this is one of the pictures.
That's happened is when this news released, the local government have to isolated him by some place, which means that not allow the public to reach out to him, reach out her, right?
Yes, the same like our episode 1, right? What will happen?
Yes.
The social media definitely would like to interview, right? You should, no matter it's mental let's say disorder or health problem, but at least you should let the professionals to treat the girl, right? And if the girl, remember in the video published on the internet, she can talk in very good like Sichuan language, right? The Chinese, they can hear the dialect of the girl, so they identify this girl is coming from Sichuan, and he is saying the whole family is a rapper, right? And the famous saying of this girl is, "The world don't want me anymore."
Oh yes, I remember she's saying that. Yeah, this
the world don't want me anymore. The world don't want me anymore. My heart is bleeding really for that word. That Miles will say that in his broadcasting. But why? Consider why a girl will say that the world don't want me anymore. Because he is in
completely
prison.
Lost her hope. No hope at all. Because she never get a piece of assistance from outside.
No one is helping. The whole government, the police, they are not police. They are the criminals. The Chinese Communist Party is the whole society is under the governance of Chinese Communist Party is ignoring her. No help, right? No help from outside. Definitely, he is raped again and again. He is beat up again and again, right? I believe she tried to escape and caught back again, beat up again, take out the tools and cut the tongues, everything brutal to her, and lock her up in the shabby room, shabby.
A question for you, Cal. Sorry, I didn't pay attention about that small details. That her tongue has been cut a bit as well.
Yes, at the tip part. It didn't cut the whole tongue, but just the tip part. So the tongue is still can work. She can eat. She can, but the speaking will be, let's say, a little bit challenged.
Affected. It's not clear.
Yeah. So consider what kind of criminal will do that to a young girl, right? They are not human. So let's consider that this girl is saying the world don't want me anymore. How desperate a person will say that, right? So this is really heartbreaking. But anyway, nowadays we don't know where the girl is, and the rumor is saying the girl is already disappeared. I don't know it's killed or anyway it's disappeared by the Chinese Communist Party. They don't want.
You mean so far today that girl is already disappeared?
Wow. Yes. No further. Let's say, I think at least at February and March, there's not a lot of follow-ups by the social media.
I still remember the newspapers released a couple of photos after 2 weeks of that happened. The entire village was set up a lot of gates. Nobody can enter that village.
Correct. Remember that time?
Entire village was set up with a fence around.
Yes, like the iron fence, iron bars around the village. Meaning, no one, if you are not a local villager, you are not allowed to enter. So this is how the Chinese Communist Party is dealing with such a social event. Right? They will block everything and make up a chain of lies to let's say brainwash all the people, right? To make you forget what is happening, right? You only
continue to provide all the fake news to public to pretend they are either they're saving these girls instead they are killing these girls.
Yes, and eventually, no one will remember the girl, and where the girl, the whereabouts of this girl is not you are not interested. It's not a public interest anymore, right? No matter the girl is killed or whatever, no one knows and no one cares. Eventually, this is what Chinese Communist Party want, and this is really the situation, and the common ending of all the story.
Wow. So yeah, we are talking about this, think about it, what is happening is like a moral or unmoral. There's no moral or unmoral. It's kind of immoral, which means
Yes.
they never think about it moral at all.
Yes.
It's not in their dictionary.
Yes. Meaning you can consider all the women in China in the eyes of let's say of a Chinese Communist Party.
Wow, yes, I saw this picture. I remember that's kind of that girls used to be like a college students.
Yeah, this one is another because after the Chain the Girl event was released, right, the social media also disclosed more similar, let's say more and more similar cases around all the province. This one actually is from Shanxi province. It's also a college girl, let's say imprisoned by some, let's say in some remote village. It's locked in a dungeon of I don't know of the village house or something. Like also the girl actually is naked, meaning don't have any cover on her body, and also even cannot because she is living in such a small area. She cannot even walk properly. Can only crawl on the ground. So this is another case. But I don't believe there's only 2 cases or only 20 cases. There are thousands or even 10,000 of similar cases all around China.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really heartbreaking. I'm really sorry to let you see such pictures, but this is reality.
That's kind of it's really unhuman.
Yeah.
It's really unhuman sense.
Yeah. Another one, basically, we already know is on the social media about the Beijing Olympics, right? The Peng Shuai, the famous tennis woman tennis player, right? Is sexual
That's
harassed
one
by,
of China's female tennis stars.
yeah. So it's also sexual harassed by this.
Oh yeah, Zhang Gaoli, the former vice prime minister of China.
Yeah, a very high rank officer of the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah, that's top government officials in China. You know what is that vice prime minister of China? See, that is top 10.
Oh yeah, I think
that's a ranking. Probably
yeah.
it's a ranking maybe in that time. Top 10.
Yeah. If you see some let's say Olympic or the World Tennis Organization, one of the officer also have a video conference with Shuai to record that. But remember that time people are saying that Peng Shuai is under control. Outside of the camera, there are people around her, right? But she is talking with the tennis officer in Chinese. But consider a player like Peng Shuai, right? Play the international tennis game. She cannot speak English, right? But why she is talking in Chinese with the officer of the world tennis game, right? So a lot of questions. So meaning this is the similar. If you understand the situation, all the Chinese know the Chinese Communist Party is and put Peng Shuai under strict control. Even her life may be threatened, right? I believe the rumors that time is saying the Peng Shuai is pregnant, right? So she is trying to protect her future child. That's why he stand up to claim the sexual harassment, right? So, but consider these 2 situations, right? A famous tennis player and anonymous beautiful girl in Sichuan province. So what's the contrast? Meaning even the famous tennis player cannot speak freely. Even they is supposed to be speak under the camera of the public, right? But what she can.
No, she can't do anything. Actually, even the the kind of famous ladies like Peng Shuai, she still didn't get a chance to to report her personal situation. That's why the audience she sent a public letter to let this go to public.
Yeah, yeah. So this is another case reminded by you. I think it's only recently last week. There is another girl
like
already.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a girl is closing 15 years ago. She was raped by the, let's say, the teacher or the faculties of the college.
Yeah, a couple of teachers and faculties.
Yeah, group.
Yeah, not just one or two, a couple of them. We can see that is also a beautiful girl that are from Gannan normal universities over there.
So meaning, under the current situation, this is some brave girl, let's say, stand up, speak up of her. Anyone who have such a
painful experience that happened 15 years ago. The interesting to call my attention because that's happened not just last week or last year. That's 15 years ago.
Yes, correct. So this is another case. We gave you several cases to show. It's already in the public media. Remind you the real situation for the human trafficking and how bad it is in China, right? So now I gave you some numbers. So this one I will give
what
you.
What are those numbers?
Wait, I show you.
Yeah.
This one. This is a dynamic image of the human trafficking in numbers. So in this way, you can see how bad it is in China for the human trafficking. And later
you mean the direction and from where to come?
Yes. The arrow is showing where the people are coming origin and the target of the human traffic. So you see in the middle is Henan. I believe it's Henan Zhengzhou. And in the middle east, in your right part, is the Jiangsu province. It's also the hot spot for the human trafficking.
They're buying more.
Yes. So go back to this case. That's talk about some the reason behind this bad human traffic situation. So this one, basically, you will see two lines. Let me get it. So on the green line is the
what does green line stands for?
What I'm at, the two numbers is standing for different. Let's say when you see there is a criminal of human trafficking, there are two sides, right? One is a selling side, one is a buying side, right? So meaning if you consider the father of the 8 boy, he is the buying side, right? He paid the money for the human trafficker to buy this young girl as his wife, right? So this is the buyer. So the seller, who is the kidnapper or the human trafficker of young girls, they kidnap girls and sell to others, right? So there are two sides. So you will see the green, why I gave you this number is there are two numbers. The two numbers, basically, this is the official numbers from Chinese Communist Party in China. Basically, the yellow one or the orange one, this is the selling side. The case.
Wow, during those kind of 4 or 5 years, a lot more selling.
Yes. That's from the year.
High rise.
From 2008. From 2008, that's there are two lines. Let's say start to surging for the orange one, right? So there's a start from 2008.
No, from 2013.
13. That's the biggest jump. See, from
biggest jump.
from 560 to some 2,000, more than 2,000 cases.
Yeah.
So this is
almost 4 times.
Yeah, this is the criminal cases. So there are two, let's say, how to interpret this data. I gave you my understanding. There are two perspectives. One is, remember, these numbers, behind this number are all the criminal cases, right? The criminal case or the lawsuit recorded in the official document. So there, yeah, and there is the selling side is in orange, the buying side is in the green. So first you will notice that there is a surge for 2012, right? So you may ask the question, why only in 2012 there is a big jump for the number of cases, right?
Yes.
So
why?
My understanding is I search because I'm sharing this as my experience with my reading of the news on the social media. They are saying the Chinese Communist Party, there's no rule of law, remember, right? There's no rule of law in China. So meaning these number of cases, why the jump? Because the Chinese Party, they take, let's say, a movement against the human trafficking. So this movement, meaning the government, the higher level of the officer will set a target. Okay, no, now for 2012, you need to take down the human traffic criminal case, right? So this is part of your performance, right? If you are the lower rank of the officer, what will you do?
We'll get a couple of them.
Yes, you remember this. The government is already part of the human trafficking, right? Definitely, you can don't tell me you don't know the human trafficking, no, right? With such a strict control of the society, the government don't know the human trafficking. I don't buy it. So they know that, but they just live with it, right? They don't take care of that criminal. But now, since the higher officer said this is a target, so they have to act upon this, make their performance, right? So they already know the human. So they just arrest them, sentence them, and put in the record. That's why this the number jump. That's first.
That's why they use this as a
to show people
as a tool to promote themselves. Get it promoted, get it higher evaluated, or get a better performance at that time.
Yeah, showing the people, see, I'm a good government. I take care of you, right? Human trafficking, I'm taking them down. But behind the curtain, they are doing the human trafficking, right? They are supporting them. Or otherwise, why in such a short time?
That holds all of them behind us. Just when they need it, they just grab out a couple of them.
Correct. This is a common scenario in China, how the Chinese Communist Party is cheating the, right? How they brainwash them. See, I make such a good performance, right? So many criminals are taken down for human trafficking, right? I make a good performance. You are safe. Reality is, the line should always, there should be a straight line in the around 2000, right? The number around all these years. But just because
also case is super low, just 0, 1, 2.
Yes, how you
3,
believe the whole country, right? 1.4
from
billion people.
1997 to 2007, that 10 years.
Yeah.
Just a few.
Yeah. Another one in this data is, you may be surprised why, because I'm mentioning there are seller side and the buyer side. And see, the buyer side is a green line, meaning, for example, simply when there is a seller, the seller is sentenced for the criminal case, right? You may wonder, how about the buyer? The buyer is not sentenced to criminal case, right? If
they're not getting the sentence at all?
Yes. So from here, you see the gap, right? Why, let's say 2,000 case, meaning 2,000 women are kidnapped and sold against their will, right? Then there must be 2,000 buyers. But out of the 2,000 buyer, only let's say 100 is punished. What do you think about it?
Definitely, there's a big difference between those two numbers, or either they're, I don't know. Maybe there's
I gave you one explanation. This one, you remember this one? Wait, I put it on a bigger. This is in the man in the left side is professional for the law.
That's law officer.
Law officer. He used to make a seminar or make a speech. That video is also available on social media. They are saying, let's explain why the buyer side of the human is not punished. They are saying because the law is made in such a way, if you are seller side, right, it's strictly published, the punished. But if you are a buyer, let's say, why I put this is there is toad, right? The toad actually is a kind of let's say precious endangered animal, right? So it's protected in the right side, a toad, right? The toad kind of frog. So the toad actually, if this protected animal, if you kill them, you will be in prison for 3 years. Okay. And comparing with if you are buying a woman, just like the chained woman, you buy a girl, to force her as your wife, the punish is also 3 years.
Wow.
Can you imagine? This is ridiculous.
It is.
Right? So
it's like
this is the reason.
Human life is life, just like
What consider what will be the result of the law making it such a way? Right? The cost of the criminal is so small, right? Meaning you don't care 3 years prison, but if I don't know if I don't buy a girl, I will be single the entire of my life. I will not have my next generation. Definitely, I will risk just 3 years. It's, right? But comparing with I have my own children, right? 3 years, what's the big deal, right? so this, if you see the lawmaker, they make law such a way. In another way, they are encouraging the people to convict such a action. Meaning, the Chinese Communist Party is encouraging these poor peoples to buy some girls if they cannot get girls willingly to marry them, right? And consider if you consider the systematic way, you look at the whole picture. Why they are poor? Because the Chinese, right? They make you poor, so you can get a girl to marry you, and they encourage you. Okay, you can make money to pay for a girl. Then, if you pay for a girl, then you will be punished only 3 years. Right? If you were caught, but if you were not caught, just in the last 20 years, right, the girl was in prison, but no one was punished until it's close to the media, right? Consider such a situation. You definitely risk 3 years to buy some girl for your as your buyer. It's a situation, meaning the whole system is set up. They make the system set up in such a way you are the party make you poor, and so you cannot find a wife, then the party will encourage you to pay money. But where you get the money? Right? Because you are already poor, so you have to work hard to make the money, right? Make the money to earn a wife, right? To risk your 3 years of life at a girl. Oh, the party
which means
set up the system.
the Chinese Communist Party, their rule of law system have a big hole, or even their side effect, which means encourages some people take the risk instead of doing those kind of human trafficking.
Yes, yes. So this is, you cannot say, let's say, because I'm sharing this information because I want to find a way how to cure the situation. It's not a case you can cure, because so many. I say, even we believe the numbers I showed in the previous page, only 2,000. 2,000 cases, how many resources you need to take, right? But if you take, you handle the 2,000, there are another 2,000, maybe 20,000. You can deal with every one of them. You cannot. So you have to fix the system. This is, you have to find the root cause of the why this is happening, and it's happening again and again because of the law.
Yeah,
so here,
the law, yeah, it's not. Wow.
This one basically, I'm because that time I also tried to search on the internet. Well, what will the similar case happen in the U.S.? What will happen? So I there in the social media, I find this case of the JC Dugar. So I just, because I want to see the punishment, right? So here you will see this. You read the name. You can search the detail of this case. I only compare the punishment. So the punishment, you see the state of California, they paid $20 million US.
That part was paid by the state or by the person who kidnapped this girl?
No, the state, the government.
The government have to pay, as well. Okay,
meaning
because they had a legal.
Yeah.
Sorry, they have a, how to say, their system have problems, so they pay the price for their government system.
Meaning the government was found guilty, or they have misconduction, to result with this kidnap of JC Dugar. Then the next line basically is saying, you see, the criminal, what's the punishment? Is the sentence to 431 years.
Life imprisonment. Yeah, which means,
100 years, 100 is maximum life length, right? But you consider such a punishment is showing to the society, right? Don't do such a bad thing. If you do it, this will be your punishment. You will be in prison for your lifetime.
Forever, for entire life.
Yeah, but consider in the Chinese party situation,
that is a 3 years maximum.
It's a piece of cake, right? It's only 1/30 of my life, and the cost is only I can buy a wife and give life of my next generation, right? It's a piece of cake if you have no other way, right? So
through these two different systems, we can see, one is just as so easily as people want to take, they would like to take the risk to do everything. But the other ones, if they do a little bit cross line, they're going to be heavily punished, and even for the rest of his life. That means people forbidden. They are not they're not dare to step one way away from there.
This from here you will see how the law enforcing system is the solution to regulate the human action, right? So with a proper punishment, the proper punishment will threaten people. You need to think it over, right? If you conduct such a criminal, what you are facing. So this is my simple comparison. You will see in the Chinese Communist Party, they are actually in one way or another, they are encouraging this human trafficking. And as I mentioned, the rumor is saying the government officer is also one of the reapers of this chained girl. Just because girl got famous because she can give birth to boys. See, this is why there are 8 boys born by the.
But in China, actually, they never take any responsibilities, legal responsibility from the government side. They always push away. That is for the people who takes the punishment, who conducted the wrong sense, but the government never think rethink what is their legal system has a flaw, how to fix the problem from their side.
That's correct. So they also, I think another case I can share with you is I say this is the case bring up by you, right? Remember the Canadian women's swim champion?
Yes, that is a half years ago. We did the program together.
Yeah. I think early this year you make this case compare, because this is often adopted by the Canadian family, right?
Mm-hmm. That is they still remember this lady is still raised in the same towns with the farm sister. In her hometown, in the city that she's living. That girl was adopted by the Canadian family, but treated like her own baby. So they raised her up and give her all the opportunity, let her not only study, also take all the activities, all the give their habits.
And you'll notice this is a girl comparing with the Chinese woman, gave birth to 8 boys. Yes. All the boys, they will keep it. The Chinese people would like to keep the boy, but they don't like girls. So the girls is
that is old thinking. Is always out of date. But for the traditional way, because they want to continue keep the family existing for forever. That's why they want to keep the boys. But however, for those girls, for the girls, they thought probably either the thing is
give the girls
give away.
Yeah. And remember we used to talk about the cost, right? Meaning to adopt a Chinese girl, you need to mean the Canadian family need to pay Chinese government, right?
Yeah, that is as you can say it's government or agency. At least all people get involved there. They want to sell those girls to foreigners, because for each individuals, I'm not saying it's just only girls, maybe some boys, but most of the boys they have problem, but girls they're okay, most of them, right? Each of them, how much I remember, I could say like a 35,000 or
I have the number. You used to provide. Yeah, this is the number.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, see, this is the number is showing the adoption of the Chinese orphans to the Westerners. So, I think you see the purple line. The purple line is for the orphan from Chinese Communist Party, China. So you see the peak in around 2004 is around the number is around peak to 8,000.
8,000. That just from the United States.
Yeah, it's just
not only Canadians or European country.
Yes, yeah. So that's why I draw the conclusion that the Chinese Communist Party, they are the human trafficker. They are the mafia in ruling, who is ruling the Chinese people. So if we don't take down the Chinese, you can never, Chinese people can never live their normal life, meaning their girls will be threatened by the human trafficking, and even they grow up, face the same fate of the Tangshan girl, being beaten to death, right? Even after 19 years, 18 years, you raise the girl, grow up, then they still their life may be endangered by some mafia. That's I think I say eating in the barbecue restaurant, their life may be taken. So this is the reality of the Chinese people.
Yeah, it's really horrible sense. It's painful, which means it's still tolerance of Chinese communist regimes that control the China. Chinese people were living in that situation. If Chinese people live in that situation, just like we said that Steve Bannon said, if Chinese people, it's not freedom, entire world will not have freedom.
Stephen Bannon, yeah.
Yeah.
If the Chinese people are not free, the whole world is not free.
Yeah, that's why all people need to unite together to, taking down the Chinese Communist Party, taking that is illegal regime.
Yes, right. So I think this is what we want to share for the second episode of our True Color talk show, the series of CCP lie. So this is another lie from CCP. As Lakeman mentioned, there are chain of lies coming out of the mouth of CCP medias. They control all the medias. They cover up with the previous lie with another lie. Eventually, if the people still resist or against the Chinese Communist Party, they will let the people disappear. They will never fix the problem. They just fix the people who raise their hand. So that's why we sent to Mao School the whistleblower movement, and Mao School set up the rule of law. This is really the new Chinese people of the new federal state of China. We are pursuing the freedom, democracy, is the rule of law, and because we believe they with the rule of law, the Chinese people can really live their normal life without threatened by the human trafficking or the mafia or the gangster on the street. So yeah, that is what we want to share. You still have anything to share to have this episode?
Yeah, actually, I just one words want to that people can take away. All these problems was caused by the Chinese Communist Party there. Yeah. That is, root problems is Chinese Communist. Without taking that down, you and I will never get freedom.
Yes, right. So that's why I would like all the audience know why we would like to taking down the evil Chinese Communist Party. We want to free the Chinese people, free the whole world who is threatened by the Chinese Communist Party. So I think maybe this is already more than 1 hour. Thank you for all our audience around the world. Thank you for your time and to listen to us, to watch our talk show. Hope you enjoyed this episode and you know more about the truth of the Chinese Communist Party. So hope we can see you for our next episode. Stay with us. We will share with you more true stories of the Chinese people.
Yeah. Thank you for your time to staying with us. Next time, says KCCP will bring more true stories about China. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lakeman. You are my best guest speaker. Really, with you, we can make this show more interesting, right? Thank you for all the audience. See you next time. Bye bye.
I'm honored to be with you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.